Hello and welcome to Drishti IAS. My name is Saloni Nankyulier and today marks the beginning of the monsoon session of the Parliament. This is important for GS Paper 2 of Polity and Governance, and in this video, we will cover everything related to the different sessions of the Parliament. So 21st of July is when the monsoon session of the Parliament has begun, and this is going to continue till 12th of August. So 21st July to 12th of August is the duration of this year's monsoon session. And this session is important for one more reason, because on 3rd of June, 16 opposition parties had collectively requested our Prime Minister to hold a special session. Special session on what? On the Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor that had followed it. But the Prime Minister did not accept the proposal at that time. Instead, he said that this matter will be taken up in the monsoon session of the Parliament. So this is also one of the reasons that this year's monsoon session becomes important, because other than the regular legislative work, we are also looking at some discussions to happen around the Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor. Now, if we discuss the different types of sessions of the Parliament, so there are three types of sessions that happen in the Parliament. The budget session, monsoon session and winter session. Now, please note that these names are nowhere mentioned in the Constitution. It is by convention that there are these three types of sessions that the Parliament follows, which is budget, monsoon and winter, but the Constitution does not mention any name or any date for the sitting of these sessions. So, if we look at all of these sessions one by one, the budget session is the longest and most important session. Longest and most important session because it deals with the introduction and passing of the union budget. So it's a finance heavy session where we talk about taxation bills, finance bill, appropriation bill, the union budget. So all sorts of discussions related to finance are happening in the budget session. So naturally this becomes the longest session because a lot of discussions and debates happen around the passing of the union budget. So it starts somewhere in February and goes up till April, sometimes also till May. But from February to April is the usual duration of our budget session. So all things related to the union budget are taken care of in the budget session. Next, we have the monsoon session. Monsoon session is the one that's currently in operation, and this starts in July. July till August, sometimes also till September, but usually till August. This year also it's going to continue till 12th of August. And this is a legislation heavy session. This was a finance heavy session and this is a legislation heavy session because all the bills that could not be introduced in the budget session, because it's primarily focusing on the union budget, all such bills are going to be introduced in the monsoon session. So any other important bill, in fact any private member bill, all things or any other thing of urgent matter, any urgent matter of importance will be taken care of in the monsoon session. In fact, there is one bill that is specially being eyed in the monsoon session, which is the income tax bill of 2025. We've already discussed that bill in detail in one of the previous videos, but that is also a bill that will be taken up in this year's monsoon session. Next, we have the winter session, which is the shortest because it starts in November and ends in December. So it's a 2-month long session, starts in November, ends in December, and it deals with any other matter of urgent importance or especially year-end reviews. So this is the shortest session and budget session is the longest session. Now, as I already mentioned that the Constitution does not mention any exact dates for the convening of these sessions, then who decides these dates? So these dates are decided by the President. By the President under Article 85, Clause 1 of the Constitution. The President summons both the houses of the Parliament. Summons, which means he calls upon. So the Parliament can start the session. Both houses of the Parliament can start the session. That is the summoning of each house of the Parliament, and this summoning is done by the President. President draws this power from Article 85, Clause 1 of the Constitution, and the President acts upon the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, which is headed by the Prime Minister. Now, if we talk about Article 85 in detail, so there are two clauses. 85 Clause 1 we already saw, which talks about the summoning of sessions by the President, and 85 Clause 2 talks about prorogation and dissolution. So these things are also done by the President, but prorogation and dissolution is taken care of in 85 Clause 2. 85 Clause 1 deals with summoning. Let's discuss these terminologies also. So there are some key terminologies that are mentioned in the Constitution. First is the adjournment of a session, which means that we are pausing the sitting of the session. The session is operational, but we are pausing the sitting of the session, and the session is going to convene at a later date, at a fixed date. Let's say we've already mentioned that we're going to meet, we're not going to meet for the next 10 days, but we're going to meet on the 11th date. So we have adjourned the session. That happens in adjournment. Then we have adjournment sine die. This is a Latin phrase. It is also used in English. Sine means without and die means day or date. So now we have adjourned the session, but we do not have any formal date for reconvening or meeting again. Here we had a fixed date. We knew when we are going to meet again. But in adjournment sine die, we do not know when we are going to meet again. So this can lead to prorogation of the session. Prorogation is when the session ends. Any session like the budget session, monsoon session or winter session, when it ends, when it is completed, that is the prorogation. So adjournment sine die could also lead to prorogation of the session. And dissolution is of Lok Sabha. This is when the Lok Sabha ends. So then a fresh election has to be conducted, new Lok Sabha has to be formed, and finally a new session will happen. So dissolution happens for Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha is not dissolved because it's a permanent body. And all these four functions, they're also performed by different people. Adjournment and adjournment sine die are being performed by the presiding officer of each house. So presiding officer for the Lok Sabha will be the speaker, and presiding officer for the Rajya Sabha will be the chairman. So presiding officer is going to perform these two operations, versus these two operations will be performed by the president. Under which article? Article 85 clause 2, as we already discussed. These will be done by the president and they will be done by the presiding officer. Now, if we talk about the special session, as we started the session with a special session, what is a special session? So it's a session which happens outside the regular 3 sessions. So it happens outside the budget session, monsoon session or winter session, or it can also happen inside the same session but as a special sitting, because it is dealing with any specific matter, a particular matter. So it's discussing a specific issue, commemorating any significant event, or handling any national emergency. Though under special circumstances, you require special sessions. So there was a demand for the special session, but it was not accepted. It will be taken care of in the monsoon session only. And has any special session happened in our parliament? So multiple times it has happened. But if we name a few, first one happened in 1947 during our independence. 1997 when we completed 50 years of independence. Then 2017 also during the implementation of the GST bill, and very recently in 2023 when there was a transitioning to the new parliament building. So these are some of the times where we have had a special session, either outside the 3 sessions or as a specific session, as a special session within a special sitting within the session. So this is what happens in the special session. And please note that the Constitution does not mention the names of any of these sessions, any exact dates of these sessions. They are summoned by the president. It only mentioned that the time frame, the duration between 2 sessions should not exceed 6 months. This is the only thing that is mentioned in the Constitution. And this ensures that any excessive delays are prevented and the parliament keeps meeting from time to time. But it also gives the parliament a flexibility as per its legislative needs or administrative needs to meet as and when required. So this is the entire functioning of the different sessions of the parliament. I hope you understood how these sessions work. And now let us look at a practice question for prelims. Consider the following statements about the sessions of the Indian Parliament. 1. The Constitution prescribes 3 fixed sessions every year for Parliament. 2. The President summons each House of the Parliament on the advice of the Council of Ministers. 3. A special session can be called only during a national emergency. Which of the above statements is or are correct? A. 2 only, B. 1 and 2 only, C. 3 only, or D. 1, 2 and 3. Please provide your answers in the comment section and I will pin the correct one. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.